What's up? We're back here at DreamHack Stockholm. We don't have Rachel. We have someone almost as pretty. It's Conrad.
Thanks, man.
And he's with me, commentating today.
Stop it.
Oh, you.
Actually, don't stop. I love
Okay.
it. I love it.
That's all I had. Sorry.
Well.
But I am Azale, and I'm here with Conrad, guys. And we are on the road to BlizzCon. There's one more invite to give away, and we only have one more series to decide it. These are what they're playing for, guys. It's the tickets to BlizzCon that are going to be given out to those players, as well as this awesome trophy here. So pretty sweet to have those kind of mementos, man. And not to mention,
it's actually so pretty.
Getting to go to BlizzCon is so much fun.
That's the prettiest award of them all. But yeah, so coming up, we're going to have Melk Trupp versus Playing with Fire.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really exciting. You know, these are two teams that they were in the losers bracket, and they have fought tooth and nail to get here because they want the last invitation. They want to be able to go to BlizzCon, and they've had some extremely exciting games. Really great play. We still haven't had a 3-2, but every series is still so close. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we heard Sad Story talking a little bit about there, you know, talking about maybe bringing a counter comp or something else. You know, not feeling too confident against this RMD from Melk Trupp, and you know, we already saw Melk Trupp take down one RMD. We heard, you know, Sad Story saying that they were not confident against them. Do you think we'll see some sort of a comp swap? What are you expecting?
You know, it's possible. It's definitely possible. I mean, if you know for sure that you're probably going. No, for sure, probably. If you're probably going to lose running your main setup, you might want to swap it up. I know yesterday I was saying play with what you're used to practicing, but if they've practiced against each other, if they're practice partners, and they're losing constantly and they have like a 10% win rate, you don't really want to play into that. You want to swap up your comp. You want to try something different. Maybe you're going to play Frost Mage. Maybe you're going to play Elemental and a Holy Priest.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to just throw away a series like just because you're being too stubborn. There is a time and a place to do that counter comp, to know that, okay, guys, we just can't win. We can't beat these guys with this comp. You know, they're too good at playing against it. This may be that time. You know, we already saw them deal with one team very, very well. I mean, you know, Melk Trupp won their previous series 3-1. The only game that they lost, I think, was more of them losing it than their opponents winning it. You know what I mean? Like it was some pretty big mistakes from them, and they looked really good in that series besides that. And now, going forward, fighting the same comp again, yes, it is a Fire Mage instead of a Frost Mage, but I'm not sure that really makes that big of a difference in this specific matchup. So, I mean, they know that they're in for what's going to be something that is a very, very tough matchup, and maybe the best chance that they have is going to be just trying to surprise their opponents, just trying to come up with something that they're not prepared for. You know, we even heard Morgan talking about how they wanted to play this team because they've now had the warm-up against it as well. So, you know, they know exactly what they want to do against it. They just beat someone playing the same comp. It's kind of like the stars are aligning for them to get that last BlizzCon invite, unless Playing with Fire can come up with something fast.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, they do want that road to BlizzCon. Hashtag road to BlizzCon, guys. Make sure you use our social media, tweet at us, stuff like that. We'd love to hear your opinions. But it's going to be the last BlizzCon for Mists of Pandaria because Warlords of Draenor is coming out.
Warlords of Draenor.
And that is going to be sick. I know lots of people, you know, sometimes they take breaks after they clear the expansion or whatnot. But everybody always resubscribes and gets a new expansion. It's just always a great time.
It's always popping at the start of a new expansion, dude.
Yeah, it is. People love it. They get to talk to their friends again that haven't really played since... you know, for whatever reason why they stopped. Maybe they got busy with school or something, but they always come back for the expansion. So
everyone always comes back.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's World of Warcraft. It's been this game.
Like 10 years, man.
Yeah, it's been running for such a long time, and there's still such a large subscriber base.
It's crazy thinking back about like how much my life has changed and stuff since I started playing World of Warcraft. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you're like 10 years ago where you were and you're playing a game, and then you look now and it's like you're still playing it, and like how different life is and like all the things that have happened as a result of it. It's pretty insane. You
know, one thing that hasn't changed though?
What?
It's still fun.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go.
That's consistent.
That was a good one.
Death, taxes, wow, still fun.
World of Warcraft subscriptions. But yeah, so I mean, it should be a pretty fun series. We're just waiting for you know, for Melk Trupp to set up. You know, they obviously just moved on stage, so they need you know, a couple of minutes to get their computers up there and make sure everything's working. You don't want to have any macros messed up or mouse and mill functioning or anything like that for a series that's this important.
It's obviously very important because, you know, everyone plays a specific way. Like maybe you have your character frames where it's right here and right here, but the guy who was playing before you has it right here and right here. So you really just want to make sure everything's perfect. I know I get messed up if I played in one tournament where add-ons weren't allowed, and that was pretty rough because I no longer was able to have my trinket macros or whatever to show me when people trinketed. And so I wanted to bring the arena frames a little bit closer to the center, sort of have all health bars in the center-ish. That helped me play. Didn't really help me out in the tournament. But, you know, so that's what these guys are doing. As you can see, like this guy right there, that is our fire mage. He is the man of fire. He is the volcano himself. He's
you know, Volkazar of Europe.
Yeah, the Volkazar of Europe.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's definitely true. A lot of people like to make some modifications and stuff to how they do things when they do start playing without mods, and it can be pretty helpful. You know, I've always liked to kind of customize my combat log. And you know, that's something that I always did was like, you know, I never played even with interrupt bar or anything like that, even when I wasn't doing tournaments, because I always just felt like it was better to be prepared for a tournament. So never get used to that add-on. And you know, one of the ways I got around that was I had my combat log customized so that I could only see like what abilities were being used, not numbers and stuff like that. So you know, so I would just read my combat log while I'm playing, so you can see, you know, when CS is used, when kicks are used, when all these different things are being used.
Yeah,
you can also keep track of it that way.
You can customize it in a way so it doesn't say, you know, you dodged an attack or you take 50 damage. You only have the important ability showing up, like the kick and the counter spell and kidney shot, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it's you can't do it just that specific, at least not without modding, but you can get it down to like, you know, fireball, ice lance, kick, all that stuff. It's just only abilities being used. Which is how I had it, and things like that can be pretty helpful. But yeah, and I mean, there's also things that you are allowed to use, like you're allowed to use non-automated scripts. So you can do things like having a timer for CS. When you press the macro, it starts a countdown on the in-game stopwatch till when counterspell will be active again. And you can have each player on your team tracking a different cooldown. That's something that, you know, my teams would do. We'd have, if you're playing against something and say Cloak of Shadows is an extremely important cooldown in that matchup, or Ice Block or AMS or whatever it is, you just set the timer to that cooldown, and then one person's tracking that, another person can be tracking another cooldown, you know, whether it's PvP trinket or whatever, so you can all be tracking different cooldowns and stuff, and that's something that can be pretty useful.
Yeah, and that also means that you have to have good communication with your team, obviously, because if one guy is tracking Cloak, another guy's tracking trinkets, another guy's tracking interrupts, you want to be able to communicate that, and that's why it's so important and so shocking that one of our teams made it through despite having a sub. You know, they weren't as used to playing with that guy, and they still managed to make it through.
Yeah, well, sometimes things just click, man. Sometimes it is just kind of meant to be. You can play with someone, and it works right from the start. You know, when
sometimes
people have
things just cluck too, because it was laser chicken.
Okay.
Okay. No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
I'll give you a smile.
Thanl
No, not a chuckle or a laugh, though.
It's okay.
But I think these guys are looking like they are pretty ready. You know, you can see all their keyboards, everything are plugged in. They got their headsets on. The admins are with them there. You know, looking at a Doomson's screen. That is, they're looking at Doomson's screen on the right. So maybe he's having some sort of issue or something that he wants to get figured out first. But I'm sure he's going to be ready to go here pretty soon. And then when we will be getting this final series of the tournament underway, guys, this has been the World of Warcraft World Championship Europe here at DreamHack Stockholm, and we are on the road to BlizzCon. You can check it out on Twitter, hashtag Road to BlizzCon, to get involved in the discussion there and see what everyone else is tweeting about it as well. And it's hashtag Road to BlizzCon for all the games, for StarCraft and for Hearthstone and for WoW. So you can get involved on that, and you can see you know, updates about the games, people talking about them, who they think's going to win, things like that. So it's definitely a lot of fun.
And this is the game, by the way. This is the game to decide who gets the final invitation. The final 3 tickets. One for each member, obviously. So keep that in mind, guys. Let us know. Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to lose? Who do you think's going to be happy? Who do you think's going to be sad, unfortunately?
Yep. So the game should be coming up here pretty shortly. It will be in the Grand Arena starting it off as always. It's going to be a best of 5, guys, whole way through the tournament. In the Grand Arena, always that starting map, as it is just kind of considered the most neutral of all the maps. It's the one that most people would say neither team really has a big advantage. So that's always just kind of been traditionally the best way to do it. And I really like the kind of more modern age map system for tournaments. It used to be, I think, a lot worse when it was just randomized maps.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You could get the same map multiple times in a row. You could get the worst map for your team 3 times in a row. And you could get the best map for your team 3 times in a row. And a series could be decided off that. So I like losers pick format a lot more. I like starting on the Grand, and I think it's kind of nice to see that that evolution.
Yeah, me too. I mean, just like all things, Blizzard, they're learning. They know.
Yep.
They've listened to a lot of feedback, which
learning,
I really
man.
like.
Yep.
Yeah, you do. Always got to be a student.
Yep. For
I seem
sure.
to really like that quote. I don't know why.
Okay, well, there you go. It's not a bad one. But, guys, I mean, okay, looking back, when we talked about on the first day, it was about halfway through the first day, you asked me, what was your favorite game so far? And at that point, you said it was that 2v3 comeback. Is that still your favorite game from the tournament?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was sick, man. You had already leaned back in your chair and you were trying to look pretty for the camera again. And I was like, they might actually land a kill here. And you were like, I don't know.
Sit up. You actually sit up in my chair to look pretty for the camera. I don't really lean back.
You like do your hair a little bit. You adjust your glasses. You fix your coat.
Yep. I do it all for you guys to look pretty for everyone at home. It's all for you. But anyway, sad story. Rind and Livin going to be playing with fire here in this final series. No comp change yet from them. We'll see if they decide to mix it up moving forward, or maybe that was just kind of some mind games messing around with Doomsday Pry and Mokrin, trying to give them something to think about, knowing that they would be listening to that interview.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other side of things, it's going to be Melk Trupp, Doomsday playing the Resto Druid, Pry on that Little D Rogue, and Mokrin playing the Frost Mage. It's Livin on the Fire Mage, Rind on the Restoration Druid, and Sad Story playing the Shadow Priest.
Yeah. I really like the 3-2-1 pictures, by the way. That's some really cool art. Just saying. So you can see Morgan, he is in that invisibility. We also have Pry sitting in stealth. Scary thing about RMD is that there's absolutely no one visible on the enemy team. So they can typically get a pretty scary opener. This tournament, they haven't gotten that many great openers, but when they do, the game seems to end almost instantaneously.
And there's that Invis ending. They're going to get the sap out onto him. They're going to be looking for the opener onto Sad Story. Here comes Pry. He's pushing forward, still waiting as there was that Invis coming out from this Sad Story. So able to delay the opener a little bit. Now as a result, they're going to open up on Livin. Livin has to trinket that immediately and get out of there. Rind was put into the deep freeze. Shadow Blades was popped instantly there by Pry on his trinket proc. Not going to get too much, though, from that Shadow Blades, honestly, besides the trinket. Unless they can get something done here onto Sad Story. The fear does come out, though. Deep freeze onto Pry. They're going hard onto him. We do see the Iron Bark already up for that. Mokrin was into the Cyclone. Doomsday was disarmed there by Sad Story, and they really want to try to get the pressure rolling early on. Yeah,
trinket was used. Pry still has his available. Doomsday has his available as well. Livin taking a little bit of damage. There is a Shroom down, so if they need to pop it, they will be able to. Ring of Frost going down. Looks like Livin's taking so much damage, though, down to about 200,000 HP. Trying to kite away. Temporal Shield is up as well. Iron Bark on him. He's going to blink now as soon as he thought the Rogue was going to be able to catch back up.
That MD was actually so clutch. He got the MD off in the split second before he got cloned. That got Rind out of that ring. That kept Livin alive and kept Rind with his trinket, who has now popped his Heart of the Wild. He's going to be trying to get that extra healing out here, and it looks like Pry just going to be pulling back. Not going to have his cloak for about 20 more seconds. He did use that, after that first little round of damage came in on him, but here comes the opener on Livin. Once again, Garrote followed by the cheap shot. Big damage coming on him. He's going to have to block immediately as Rind is in the polymorph, and he doesn't feel like giving up his trinket this early on. So once again, prioritizing the trinket of Rind over that ice block there from Livin. Livin going to be popping the blazing speed, trying to get away. Sad was put into the silence out of that cheap shot probably. He was in a sap, did get sheep. Now they're going to pull back. And so far, things are looking really good for this RMD. Livin without the block. Rind does still have his trinket. He's getting a little bit more aggressive, though, pushing forward, trying to get some CC out. The big triple fear did come out. Pry is taking a lot of damage here. He could be going down. He's going to have to trinket. The cloak comes out as well, as Doomsday was silenced up there. So big cooldowns forced out from Pry. We'll see if they can get back to him and capitalize on the fact that he has no cloak. The re-stealth, though, going to come in.
Yeah, you know, Trinket Cloak is always scary to pop, but look at Livin. Livin's taking so much damage right here. Down about half HP, a life grip away, down 200k now. He has to pop his Trinket. He has to ice block, actually. Wow, that was some very scary bursts coming in from our RMD team. Just incredible pressure coming out. Sad gets put into a half poly. He's going to get out of it now. Fireball being put against this this mage. You know, I think it would be pretty important to be able to spell steal the Pyroblast proc, so I'd like to see them clean Livin of all of his buffs.
Yeah, definitely something that can be really annoying to deal with as a fire mage, having those stolen, or even, you know, having your palm stolen, something like that can be pretty devastating. Doomson in the sheep, but Pry just sitting in stealth right now. There's the immediate blazing speed, the growth, the cheap shot comes out, there's the smoke bomb going down. Big cooldowns here coming out from Pry. He's trying to finish off Livin. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Livin doing a good job so far. There's the ring onto Rend. He's not able to get out of that, but Livin really didn't take much of any damage, to be honest, there. Pry is going to be pulling back once again. He's getting blizzarded on. They don't want to let him have those free re-stealths if they can help it, and he's going to decide to just give up on the re-stealth for now. He's going to run across the map, just trying to kite away there. Maybe going to be able to get a dispel and get that re-stealth now. And Shadow Blades, as you can see, coming up in 2 seconds. That may be what they're going to try to go for the kill with as Trix does come up. Livin is probably going to be the target still. He probably does not have another ice block, as he has already gone through 2, and I don't think he's had time to get that third back up.
You know, I really feel like they're going to save this opener with the Shadow Blades for when they actually have Dance available. That's what I like to see. You know, it's really just all about the burst. Morgan does put into a counterspell right here. Probably going to open up onto Sad. Sad taking a decent amount of damage right now. He's at about 500k HP. There's a Shadow Blades opener. Dance is up in about 5 seconds. Now our Rogue is going to switch onto Livin. Livin has popped his alter time, though, so he's not going to take a lot of damage. The kidney shot actually, I believe, or no, it was a cheap shot, went in right before the alter time, so a little bit of a mistake. No re-stealth available for Pry. A little bit unfortunate for him. He's just trying to get away, trying to get that re-stealth. He is going to try and get another big opener because the opener is what is extremely important. Doomson put into a full fear. Morkan at inside of a counterspell at about half HP. He has to ice block, actually. Wow.
I don't know if he actually did have the ice block there, to be honest with you, but he is going to decide to use it. Rind doesn't have a trinket available, but he has no Symbiosis ice block. He had to use that in the last exchange. Morkan taking a fair bit of damage here himself, down to about half HP, going to pop the alter time, getting that burst out over onto Sad. Sad down pretty low here, does still have the disperse available. He's low on mana. There's the MCS on a Rind, that's followed up by the blind. Will he decide to trinket it? No, he's going to try to hold on to it. His Morkan may go down 60k HP. Doomson needs to top him back off. He's down to 70k once again. Nice offensive clone. Doomson just triggered something. I don't even know what it was. It was the silence, and he gets NS hibernated. What a big play there by Rind, and the clone and the fear come out as well. They're going to be overlapped, but Morkan still sitting so low. Pry doing his best to try to peel with the dance. Will Morkan be going down here? He sat through the full block. There's the MCS over onto Doomson. The water ellie is going to be resummoned here. Cenarian ward back up. It looks like he is actually going to survive.
Oh my goodness. Well, he's not out of the woods yet. There is a deep freeze going off onto our Doomson, but you can see Morkan, he is at about 80% HP, trying to kite away. Dragon's Breath does go out onto him. Livin, he is taking a decent amount of damage. He's in the middle of the arena. He's at about half health now. Morkan taking a lot of damage. There's a fear going out onto Pry. There's a counterspell onto Morkan. Pry still sitting inside of that Cyclone. Cyclone goes out onto Doomson. Morkan at about 1/3 HP. Could he possibly go down here? Ring of Frost is down. He's trying to kite away, trying to do as much damage as he can as well. Living at about 80% HP.
Yeah, and he is going to be going with that blazing speed. Living at about half HP. Pry in the deep freeze though. He's down to 100k. He's going to have to trinket. He's going to have to cloak as well. Getting pretty low there is Pry. He's taking a lot of damage, and they are getting pressure back onto them. And you know, Morkan was so close to going down there. Pry has been so close to going down a couple times, and it seems like, you know, a little bit of a reinvigorated playing with fire team. They're the ones that seem to be taking the advantages here later in the game. And Morkan now once again going to be the target. Sad though, going to be going into the cheap shot, into the kidney now. Doomson is sheeped up. Pry is into a fear right now. It's actually a triple fear there from Sad Story. What can they get set up with this? It could be trouble for Pry. There's the devouring play coming out on Pry. He's going to have to smoke bomb defensively. Silence onto Doomson, and now comes Pry out of that. He's down to 150k, 100k HP, 90k, 80k. He's trying desperately to get away. There's the clone still on Doomson, and Pry is going to go down. The blind comes out onto Sad Story, but it is a too little, too late. And wow, playing with fire, going to take game number 1 there against a team that they were really afraid to go up against.
Yeah, what an intense game, man. You know, I wasn't expecting this. I actually thought our RMD team was going to be able to get the kill. They were looking forward to fighting this team. They had already fought the Frost Mage variation of it, and now they were like, yeah, we'll take the Fire Mage. We'll play with fire. And then next thing you know, they're going to take the first loss in this series.
Yeah, we do have to remember, though, that they did just beat another Shatter Play. They lost the first one in that one as well.
That's true.
And, I have to
give them hope.
Doomson looking a little bit frustrated there as he's talking. Things getting a little bit animated.
Ooh.
But,
feisty.
Morkran
blocking.
Really did, kind of waste his block, honestly, I think, at that one point.
You're right.
It was a bit of an unneeded block, and I felt like that kind of started the spiral of events that led to them losing. They got so far behind there. It cost him his second block. He kited around for so long, barely living. A lot of defensive cooldowns had to come out during that time, and then the swap over onto Pry was very good as well. And it felt like, to me, early in the game, the RMD was constantly forcing out blocks. They got both the blocks from Living really fast. They got a disperse from Sad Story as well. They were getting through so many defensive cooldowns from their opponents. But then as the game went on, I don't know if things just started falling apart. They weren't on the same page, but it seemed like for the last, say, 4 or 5 minutes of the game, they didn't do anything. They didn't force it didn't seem like they forced anything at all.
Yeah, you're right. The pressure kind of gave up. There wasn't much pressure at all.
Yeah.
No gravity.
No gravity, yeah. So regardless, it is going to be a 1-0 lead. It's going to be a 1-0 lead now for Playing with Fire. That means they are 2 wins away from that BlizzCon invite. That's what they are looking for. That's what both these teams are looking for. And having that first map advantage is always so important.
Yeah, this is the game, guys. This is the series. This is to
the final series of the tournament.
Yeah, the final series of the tournament. Who gets the final 3 tickets, the final 3 invitations to BlizzCon?
Yeah.
That's pretty intense, man.
It's really important, man.
There's so much
it's what these guys
have
been practicing for, all year long. They practiced. They had to get a certain ladder rating. Once you achieve that ladder rating, you could be invited to Arena Tournament Realm. On that Arena Tournament Realm, there was actually, brackets that they had to qualify through. The top 8 teams then got invited to this event. And now, out of these top 8 teams, we've gone all the way through the brackets. This is the very last 2 teams remaining. Only 1 team is going to get that last invite to BlizzCon. 2 teams have already received theirs. This is the final one available for the European teams, and getting that means you're one of the very best teams in all of Europe.
Yes, this is the hashtag Road to BlizzCon. 2 teams meet at the end of the road. Only 3 players will be able to cross this bridge.
Yep. All right, so it is going to be Tiger's Peak as the choice here for Doomson, Pry, and Morkran. And that is a pretty solid choice. We've seen Tiger's Peak a fair bit throughout this tournament. I have to say, I think we've actually seen Blades the least. I think we've only seen 1 or 2 games of Blades the whole tournament.
People don't want to mess with it, man. It's scary. There's a lot more factors on Blade's Edge than other arenas.
Surprising to me, though, with a lot of LSDs and stuff, no one seems to be really picking it. But anyway, it is Tiger's Peak, guys. That is the choice here for Doomson, Pry, and Morkran. It's going to be Morkran Law playing the Frost Mage. It's going to be Doomson on the Restoration Druid. Pry playing that Subtlety Rogue. Rind going to be the Restoration Druid for his team, along with Sad Story playing the Shadow Priest, and Livin on the Fire Mage.
Brilliant mount set for these guys, I have to say. Big fan of the Swift Spectral Tiger. Very nice choice. You can also see the, I believe that's from
an ostrich or something. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I think it's for
that's dope.
Easter. I think they did it for Easter.
That thing is really cool, dude.
I have it. I know.
You know what's actually the coolest though is the little chicken. The chicken is actually
chicken mount.
Yeah, the chicken mount's really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you sub that in for your LSD team and win.
Yeah, there you go, man. So Doomson going to be selfed up along with Morkran and the Invis. Pry going to be popping his camo as the Invis does expire here for Morkran, and there it does go down. That's going to mean that Livin is going to be the first one out of Invis. He's going to have to be the one to be available to be sapped, and this RMD gets the advantage. Having that kind of double stealth and the AoE team stealth, it allows them to get these openers that are just so devastating sometimes. And now in does come that sap. We are going to see the Spectral guys coming out from Sad Story, but it means they're just going to open right up onto Livin. We'll see if the Shadow Blades is going to come down immediately this time around. Not just yet, but Doomson is going to be looking for that clone. He's going to get it over onto Sad Story. We'll see if Rind is going to be CC'd up at all. Sad Story once again put into the cheap shot. The NS clone, or actually just an NS heal, I think does come out there from Rind. Trinket going to be used by Morkran. Rind put into the Palm Sheep. Pry now going to be sheeped up as well. Livin taking some damage, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice ring, though, actually catching a couple members there. And Rin is going to have a lot of healing to do here on Livin. Cenarian Ward and Ironbark are up there. Sad Sword going to be put into the sheep. Doomson and Rin both still have their trinkets available. Livin taking a lot of damage, though. Going to be throwing out that Dragon's Breath defensively, trying to get the Frost off, not able to do it. The Ursox actually popped there by Rin. I think that was an accident. Heart of the Wild going to come out from him as well. He's into the Deep Freeze, still has his trinket. Livin may have to block here, though. Very, very low. Needs to use that block. He is going to do it. The MCS comes in. Risky play there from Livin. He is going to be able to survive, though. Now the Frost Shot coming out on a Pry. They're looking to look to turn things around. Deep Freeze comes out. Those Pyros being spammed out. And the Cloak is going to have to be used as Doomson gets put into silence. Pry down at 180k HP. Bash onto Doomson there from Rin. Rin getting aggressive. We see the blind over onto Rin. He's not going to trigger this just yet. Doomson feared off. Pry is looking like he could be the target still. Did catch the Ironbark. They're going to be popping the Shadow Blades, though. They're going to look to try to get a kill early here onto Livin. Can they get back to him? Here comes Pry. Shadow Blade's still active. Rin going to have to trinket. The Heart of the Wild NS does go up with the trinket proc as well. A massive heal, and that is going to trigger Pry to back off.
Yeah, Pry caught inside of that Cyclone now at about 75% HP. He's going to try and go for a re-stealth, but really nice job. He does get rooted. He does get that Fairy Fire on him. I really like it when I see Druids making sure that Rogues always have the Fairy Fire debuff. Polymorph goes out onto Doomson. Cyclone goes out onto Morkan. This is not looking good. It is a 3v1 situation, but Pry is doing a great job of just pillaring the whole time. Livin trying to get some damage onto Morkan now. He's inside of that Deep Freeze. There's a Dragon's Breath going out outside of that. Shadow Dance is being used. Looks like it might be used to peel. Deep Freeze goes out onto Rin. Can they get some offensive pressure going here? Pry in a little bit of trouble. He's still just pillaring the whole time. He doesn't want to take any damage. He does have Ironbark up on himself
too, though, and his cloak is now back up, so he should be out of the woods for now. He's going to be opening up here, looking for the damage onto Sad Story. Sad Story, though, does get the Ironbark immediately from Rin, who's doing a great job keeping him topped off, and the clone will land onto Pry. Doomson now, he's just going to be trying to heal Pry back up out of that. He's sitting very far back, going to get silenced up, though. We'll see what they're going to go for. They're going to be going through the damage on Pry. The Trinket Cloak has to come out, but Livin may go down here. 70k HP. The Ice Lance is flying in as he gets the Ice Block off there, and Cloak, was used. So was Trinket from Pry. Doomson has his Trinket back, though. That is key. They're going to be looking for the kill on Livin, but equally so, playing with fire, going to be looking to finish off Pry here. And this is a bit of a repeat from game one. We have to remember, both of Livin's blocks forced early in that game as well, but then the RMD started to falter. They lost control of the game. They lost their pressure, and we'll see if it's going to be a repeat of that. But Pry has gotten the re-stealth. Rin with no trinket. Doomson has his. They're going to be looking to set up on Livin and finish this game off. Now the alter time actually was popped there by Livin, it looks like. Yeah, he's going to alter back, but I'm not really sure what that was for. I think he was anticipating an opener from Pry and trying to pre-alter time it. It's not going to work out, though. The Grow comes in. There's the cheap shot. Rin does pop the Meld, trying to immune something. Smoke Bomb goes down. The Orb comes out. This could be it for Livin. Rin going to have his PvP trinket up just now. He does get cloned up. A nice defensive Dragon's Breath there from Livin. He's going to Blazing Speed away, and he really was not actually in nearly as much trouble as I thought. With Orb out, Smoke Bomb out, you would have thought more damage would come.
Yeah, and Dance. That was just a lot of cooldowns, but they didn't get almost anything at all. So it's a rough situation for our RMD at this point, especially because Moker is taking so much damage. He did have a Shadow Priest Silence on him, trying to pillar with Pry right now, going for the re-stealth. Ring of Frost is down. The Blizzard is going to stop Pry from... No, he did manage to get the re-stealth. Wow, good jukes right there. Morkan gets caught inside of that Dragon's Breath. Tricks the trade up on him. Deep Freeze goes out onto Rin. They're trying to get some burst pressure going out onto Livin right here. He is doing a great job of kiting away. Frostfire Bolt catches him, though. That's going to snare him. It's going to make it easier for our Rogue of Pry to catch back up to him. He's running at him right now. He manages to connect. How much damage can he do? Temporal Shield does go out. He's going to get Life Gripped away. Rin caught inside of that Cyclone, but the Life Grip is going to mean the Cyclone will not stop any of the healing at all. They won't really need it.
The next Dance could be pretty frightening, though, but, I mean, they do have all their trinkets, but Blades is back up, Dance is back up as well now. He gets the re-stealth. We'll see what they're going to go for. They're on to Livin. Morkan taking a lot of pressure, though. There's a Hibernate as well as a Fear that was over onto Doomson. Morkan is actually going to have to be forced into the Ice Block. Livin going to be caught onto, though. He's in the Kidney Shot, taking a lot of damage. May actually go down. The block going to be forced out. Tit for tat, going back and forth with these cooldowns. Doomson going to be the one getting the advantage between the two Druids now, but Morkan may go down. It may not even matter. He was too busy getting the clone, and they were separated, and Doomson was across the map CCing Rin, but his mage is going to fall as a result, and they're calling for it. One more game. They are pumped up, man, and a little bit of whiff on the high five, but it's okay. They made up for it.
We've all done it. We've all whipped high fives. And now look, that's frustration right there. Even after they won the last game, and they were looking a little bit mad even though they won.
Doomson? Yeah. They lost.
Yeah.
They lost both games.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. But they were looking frustrated is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
and now they're still looking frustrated. And it's like, could that possibly be why they're losing? Is that they're letting their emotions get control of them, and they're not in control of their emotions?
It's definitely possible, man. I mean, the fact of the matter is, these games are very close, but for whatever reason, it seems like they can force out the 2 blocks on Livin, but past that, they don't seem to really be able to get anything done. And it's like, once again, they got both the blocks pretty easily. And then moving past that, it looked like they were going to be able to get a kill the next time they opened up on them. They had, smoke bomb, they had orb, they had everything set up, but they just did not seem to be able to coordinate to get the amount of damage out that they needed. I mean, honestly, Livin without a block in a smoke bomb with Dance, everything being popped, you would think that he would just be a goner, but he didn't even get below like 70 or 80% HP, and it just seems like the further into the game they get, the more and more they fall behind. And I just have to say, it feels like they're just not on the same page with things. At the end there, Doomsim going for CC on Rind, he was getting aggressive while his mage was on the other side of the map dying.
Yeah, he actually just died behind a pillar to all the dots.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fine for Doomsday to be going for the CC if Morkran's coming to him, but they obviously just were not on the same page. Morkran just was completely away from Doomsday and vice versa. So it just does not seem like they're really on the same page here. So we'll see what they're going to be able to get done. Tolvaron Arena is going to be the map choice, but they have to win 3 straight now if they want that invite to BlizzCon. Playing with fire, up 2-0. Rind, Sad Story, and Livin now 1 game away from that final invite.
Yeah, let's see if they can do it, man. It's looking really rough, I have to say. It's not often that people make the full comeback train where they go from 0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, but I just don't know if it's going to happen, man. These games just look too solid coming out of our Shatterplay team, our Fireplay.
Yeah, and we can't count out this RMD just yet. If they can stay focused, if they can stay together as a team, I still think they have the chance to win this. And especially because they already took down one of these comps, and they know they have the ability to take down another. They just need to stay together, to get their strategy down, to get their coordination down, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Same opener coming out once again, just kind of stealthing around in that camo. Now going to be moving in, looking for that sap. We'll see if he's going to be able to get it. The sap not able to come out just yet, as Livin is able to get into combat right away. And now who are they going to open up on? Livin looks like he wants to get aggressive right off the bat. He's going to go for a sheep. He's not able to get it just yet. Livin going to be MCS. There's a blind onto Rin. Cheap shot onto Sad Story, and they're going to be going over onto him. Morkran taking more damage though than Sad Story, honestly, at this point. He's getting pushed back by Livin. The 2 mages exchanging blows. Livin dips down barely to about 200k, getting healed right back up though by Rin. Not really in too much danger as the silence comes in on Doomsday, and Pry going to be forced back. Could be in a little bit of trouble, does vanish out. Catches the Iron Bark as well there, and Doomsday should be able to heal him back up as he does open up on a Sad Story. There's the deep into the ring onto Rin. He's going to be stuck through that. Does not want to use his trinket. Sad Story though not taking too much damage, and it's interesting they are going back to the Shadow Priest. That's what Sad Story expected, but Livin has been the target mostly for the RMD this series.
Yeah, you are correct. Probably caught inside that Cyclone coming out of it now. Morkran taking a little bit of damage. He does have some hot tip on himself. Full Incanter's Ward if he wants to start doing some damage here, though. Looks like they may be going for it. Probably gets caught inside of that fear, though. He does manage to get out of it. The dots were taking pretty hard onto him. He is at half health now. I really like how he always tends to pop evasion whenever the Shadow Fiend's on him. You might not think you have to use evasion against casters, but it really does help. Big burst going in onto Morkran right now. Doomsday caught inside of a full Shadow Priest silence. Morkran actually has to pop a PvP trinket. He's just trying to get away from all the damage coming into him. Uses his mana shield. It's going to absorb a little bit of damage. Also, it's going to give him a damage bonus. There's a cycle going out onto him though.
Yep, and we do see Doomsday put into the bash. They're going to be looking for some CC out of this. He's going to actually be sheeped up. No trinket available for him. And once again, this RMD on the back foot. But this time, they're on the back foot so early in the game. I mean, there's no cloak available. There's no trinket on Doomsday. This could be it for Pry right here. And I think it may well be. Doomsday is CC'd up. We'll see if he's going to be followed up on. There's another sheep. And Pry, I think he's going to be going down. Doomsday does use a Symbiosis block. He's going to be able to get a big Shroom crit there. Oh, but that is really the end of their cooldowns for now. He needs to run and get out of there. 10 seconds left on his cloak, so it does cost them a Symbiosis Ice Block, but they do stay alive.
Yeah, and Symbiosis Ice Block is such a big cooldown. They don't have that available for much longer, for any longer, for a long period of time. Livin, he does get some Fire Blast procs. He's going to be doing a lot of damage here. Ring get caught in full Deep Freeze. Mokran caught in full Counterspell. Lots of pressure going in onto Sad Story right now. He's trying to run away. He does use Disperse. It's going to get cycloned off. Yeah. I love that.
Instantly cloned as he does pop that Disperse there by Doomston. So great job from him. Rin going to be cloned up as well. Sad Story in a lot of trouble. He may go down. Rin does not have his trinket. He gets recloned on that. Can they get any more CC out? Prey is going to be sheeped off. Doomston about 10-15 more seconds and he will have that trinket back up. Pride going to be put into the Deep Freeze. Doomston trying to get out of there. He does melt. He tries to immune the fear. He's not able to do it though. He's going to be feared out of the Shadow Melt. Sad Story going to be put into the Kidney Shot. Deep Freeze over onto Rin. Pride still the one taking damage as Doomston caught into the sheep, but it's actually accidentally pyroed there by Livin, allowing him to get out of it, allowing him to keep his team alive. A pretty costly mistake there from Livin as Pride's going to get the restealth. They're going to be opening back up on a Sad Story who will not have his Disperse for a fair bit of time.
Yeah, Price still hasn't been able to be topped, man, and that's really scary for him. Blind goes out onto Rin. They're trying to get the kill onto Sad Story right now. It did manage to break, though. Pride gets feared. He's going to get out of it. There's a Cyclone going out onto Mokran. He doesn't have a trinket available. He just trinketed something else. Now Pride is going for another restealth, and it seems like they just keep going for openers. Yeah,
but it was the Symbiosis Ice Block to get out of that blind, which is pretty costly, but look at Mokran going to be forced into the block immediately as that burst is coming out so heavily onto him. Doomston is going to be having his trinket once again here. He's going to get disarmed, though, into the sheep. Rin put into the Deep Freeze. Nothing to follow up on that. Mokran still could be in some trouble here. We do see that the trinket came out from Doomston. Heart of the Wild is active on him as well. He's going to throw the clone out onto Sad Story, trying to deny that fear. But Mokran is put into the Frost Jaw. He's taking some damage here. Iron Bark goes up. Needs to get those hots back onto him. We do see Stampeding Roar pop there from Doomston. They want to kite out of there. They want to recover. Look for that opener once again on Sad Story. Sad Story going to be the target here. Disperse not up for 15 more seconds. Can they capitalize? Doomston has the NS active. He's going to throw